Hello. Today I'm talking about empowerment and the consequences of being empowered in our reality. So I really like the word empowerment and I use it a lot in my work because for me empowerment is the process of gaining freedom and the capacity to make the decisions for my own life. Now that applies to everything. Applies to how I establish relationships, how I am at work. Applies a lot of how I become healthier because I gather the tools, I gather the information I need to take a better lifestyle that will benefit my health. So being empowered is this really wide process of getting to know myself, getting to know what I need. It's developing kind of a skill and an easiness of going for the things that will satisfy those needs. It's being curious about the process, the adventure of knowing who I am every moment, every day. It's being relaxed about it as well, not putting so much thoughts about it because once you know yourself, you also trust that all the signs that need to come that will inform us about how we are feeling, our intuition will just come more naturally as well. So, although it's a very strong word, empowerment, in fact, is a very subtle way of being. But initially, as we discover who we are truly, before we give our sovereignty to others, when we start really respecting all this information that comes from within, we may start coming across to others differently than we used to. And with that process, there is this fear that our relationships will change. Particularly, we tend to identify relationships based on how much we need each other. And there is fear all around us that if I don't need my partner, I will not be in that relationship. Or with our kids, very often we think, well, the day they don't need us, they will just leave. It is complicated. Also, what is our worth at work and what is my new role as an adult in the relationship I have with my parents? All these scenarios can be quite challenging if in this process of getting to know myself better, I also start behaving differently with others. And that fear is genuine because we really don't want to lose those people around us. We want to be ourselves, but without losing them. So how is that possible? That's a question that comes a lot in my programs. By the end of a workshop, very often we dwell on this question. And now what? Now I know how to be empowered and I'm going to practice, but now what? Will I have the courage to change my whole life? So I'm very thankful for those of you who ask this question, and also for my producers and my colleagues that bring this question to me and say, women and men, we all need to know what to do with these versions of ourselves that are more authentic, are more connecting, and yet quite revolutionary in the present scenarios. So I would say one thing to you that I've experienced myself and I see coming across the people I work with. In the process of becoming empowered, more in touch with your needs, more in touch with the resources that you must have in order to satisfy your life, you also establish those relationships from that authentic place. And the skill of relating to those people comes. It's part of the process. Because rather than something really strange that you need to learn how to communicate forcefully who you are now, it will just come. It will initially be difficult to believe in this process, but it does come. Because when we are in connection with our true self, then it's effortless to really express to others who we are. And that does not mean that we break up relationships or there's conflict. On the other hand, it means that we are truthful, we have more space to include the needs of others. So there's more compassion, and it's much more likely that those relationships also will improve. So fear is genuine, but do it anyway, because it's self-defining. It's part of the process. When we become empowered, we basically are more connecting with those around us. And we are more able to really work together to build something, wherever is the context. I am really curious about all these processes, and I learned a lot from observing these different scenarios. But truly, it's about empowering each other, bringing that authentic version of ourselves out, being more connected, and really inspiring each other. So, yeah, feel the fear and do it anyway. It's the way to go forward. I hope this has been helpful, and I hope to see you at one of my events, workshops, talks, and consultations very soon. All the best.